Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this evening's live stream. Today is the 4th of February 2026. I always need to check that because I've noticed sometimes with my live streams is that I've got the dates wrong, sometimes by as much as a month out of date. But definitely today is 4th of February 2026. Hope you're all doing well. In my last live stream, where I read Genesis 24 to 26, I came across two words that I have heard before. Well, one that I have heard before. The second one I haven't paid much notice to before. The first one being Edom, which is another name for Esau. And the second name was Kethura. She was the third wife of Abraham. The Bible refers to her as a concubine, but if you want to call her a wife, because she did have children for Abraham, she followed on from based on the woman who had children for Abraham. Obviously, Sarah was officially Abraham's wife. Then we had Hagar, Sarah's servant, who Sarah said, "Oh, I'm barren, I can't have children," to Abraham. Why don't you go into Hagar, my maid, and she can have a child for us. And as we know, when that child did come, she got very upset, especially when she had her own child eventually, Isaac, that the Lord did promise Abraham that he will have a child. But let's just say Abraham took events into his own hands and had Ishmael, Hagar's son, before he had Isaac, which the Lord said, "My people will derive from Isaac." And as we know, Abraham got a bit upset, wondering, not necessarily upset, but grew concerned about the welfare of Ishmael. And the Lord said, "Don't worry about Ishmael. He's going to have 12 sons, which will all be princes." So that's where that came from, just as a bit of background. But I just felt that I have, just through my own reading and watching videos on various platforms, come across quite a few videos on Kethura. And when I read Genesis 24 to 25, in particular chapter 25, because that's where Kethura is mentioned, there's not much said about her. But these videos seem to come up with quite a lot of information. I thought, okay. So I just thought, well, where are they getting this information from? And, so I did mention a little while ago that I did suggest that if you've been going through the Genesis series, to read the book of Enoch that's contained in it's known as an apocrypha, which is, it's not a official book of the Bible, so it's not contained there. But the book of Enoch is referred to in the New Testament, and I think it's referred to in Jude. I'm just saying that by memory, but it is referred to in the New Testament, and I do, as I said, I think it's referred to in Jude. I'm not sure, but I will check, and I'll probably leave it in. No, I will leave it in the comments. So, I suggested you do read Enoch because it throws more light on Genesis. It goes into depth, and funny enough, the Apocrypha does throw a little bit more light on Kethura, but not that much. Okay, and Kethura's only mentioned, well, she's mentioned more than once in the Bible, but outside of chapter 25 rather, of Genesis, she's only mentioned in respect of the 6 sons that she had as descendants of Abraham. So I was just wondering out loud to myself, well, where do these people get all this additional information from in respect to Kethura? So I did say, well, I'm just going to do a little bit of research and just to throw more light, and I'll do a stream on Esau and Kethura. The first thing I found out when I ended the last live stream was that, and it's kind of referred to in chapter 25 of Genesis, is that Edom is another name for Esau, because we are told that Esau was born red or ruddy. His skin tone was red or ruddy. So Edom, surprise, surprise, in Hebrew refers to red. So I thought, okay, that makes sense. So I thought, well, where can I get some more information on Esau? Because we haven't come to those chapters yet in Genesis, but when Jacob, Esau's twin brother, the chosen one by the Lord, who his name will go through, or his people from whom the Lord's people will be derived from, Jacob went to his mother's family, I believe. Yes, Laban, his mother's brother, to find a wife. So he got delayed there for some time. We'll come to that. And on his way back, one of the last people he met on his way back home was his brother Esau. So, and we haven't got there yet, but he took Esau's birthright because Esau just sold it to him for, well, didn't sell it to him, but gave it to him just for a plate of stew because he was hungry. And I think there's a point where Jacob does deceive is it Abraham or is it his father Isaac? I think he deceives Isaac, who was quite old at that time and can't see. Isaac was favored Esau and Rebekah favored Jacob, and Abraham also favored Jacob. Although we're not told that in the Bible, but we're told that in the Apocrypha book of Jubilees, which I'm going to read, because that's the only place that I could find further information on Hagar, which isn't that much, but it does refer to her a bit more than it does in Genesis. And also further information on Esau, aka Edom, especially about his personality and his activities while he was young and while their father was still alive. So I thought, okay, yeah, that's fine. So rather than me just sort of break it down in my own words, I thought, well, I'm just going to read the chapters of Jubilees, which are chapters 19 and 20, just to throw more information on these two personalities, because I think they're very important personalities, especially as they appear, or especially as they're mentioned in Genesis. So, and their very close relationship to Abraham. So, so that's the main objective of this stream. I don't think it's going to be very long, but these chapters are quite long. So I think it's going to be quite interesting when we read through them. And just also because the term Edomites has been used quite a lot in some videos that I've seen, and it's sometimes, or generally, in the videos that I've been watching, Edomites, people claim to know who the descendants of Edomites are, and they're referred to in a negative light. So I just wanted to see for myself and wonder, well, why is that? Why do people refer to, anytime they do refer to Edomites in the current day setting, and especially in not all, as I said before, but in quite a number of videos, they refer to negatively. So I just wanted to, because it's very important that I've found, especially in all aspects of life, especially when people are bombarding one with information. Well, not necessarily being bombarded, because sometimes we go and seek out the information. Nobody forces us to press the play button, do they? But when we're seeking out information, it's always good to sort of find things out for yourself and to draw your own conclusions, or to back up the conclusions, or to seek clarity on what others have said, because we don't really know what people's agendas are, you know. So sometimes people would could purposely supply us with wrong information, or they themselves could be making a genuine mistake. And sometimes people want to project or pass on a certain narrative. So it's always good to ensure that for yourself, that what you're thinking and what you're understanding is the correct one. Okay, so I just hope that what we're going to go through now would give that to us. I just want to say a nice welcome to my viewer. You're more than welcome, and thanks for passing by. This is just like, it's just cool to have you there. So I did say this is the book that I'm referring to, and it's not complete. There are some books missing from this version, but the key books are there. And Enoch's here, and also the book of Jubilees. What Jubilees does is that it throws a lot more light on Genesis. It sort of goes deeper. It fills in the gaps that are left out in Genesis. Not all of them, but it's an interesting read, and you can draw your own conclusions from reading it. But I think it's an interesting read. I haven't checked if the authors were inspired or who authored it. They might actually have it right at the beginning. But I'm going to, for today, focus on chapters 19 and 20 that provide us with the information that, you know, just mention Kethura and Esau, Edom, a bit more. Okay, great. So let's just read through and see where it takes us. Chapter 19, the book of Jubilees. And in the first year of the first week in the 42nd Jubilee, Abraham returned and dwelt opposite Hebron, that is Kirjath Arba, 2 weeks of years. And in the first year of the third week of this Jubilee, the days of the life of Sarah were accomplished, and she died in Hebron. And Abraham went to mourn over her and bury her. And we tried him to see if his spirit were patient and he were not indignant in the words of his mouth. And he was found patient in this and was not disturbed. For in patience of the spirit he conversed with the children of Heth, to the intent that they should give him a place in which to bury his dead. And the Lord gave him grace before all who saw him, and he besought in gentleness the sons of Heth, and they gave him the land of the double cave over against Mamre, that is Hebron, for 400 pieces of silver. And they besought him, saying, We shall give it to you for nothing. But he would not take it from their hands for nothing, for he gave the price of the place, the money in full, and he bowed down before them twice. After this he buried his dead in the double cave. And all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years, that is 2 jubilees and 4 weeks and 1 year. Based on this definition, you can calculate for yourself how long is a jubilee. These are the days of the years of the life of Sarah. This is the 10th trial with which Abraham was tried, and he was found faithful, patient in spirit. And he said not a single word regarding the rumor in the land, how that God had said that he would give it to him and to his seed after him. And he begged a place to bury his dead, for he was found faithful and was recorded on the heavenly tables as the friend of God. And in the 4th year thereof, he took a wife for his son Isaac, and her name was Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, the brother of Abraham, the sister of Laban, and daughter of Bethuel. And Bethuel was the son of Milcah, who was the wife of Nahor, the brother of Abraham. And Abraham took to himself a 3rd wife. See, this is what I'm saying. Kethura is referred to as a wife in Jubilees, but in Genesis, she's referred to as a concubine. And they also tell us that she was the daughter of his household servants. So that's a slight difference there. And she bore him 6 sons, Zimram, and Joksan, and Medan, and Midian, and Isbak, and Shua, in the 2 weeks of years. So look, you don't bear 6 sons just like that, do you? So you bear 6 sons over a period of time. So I can, just from reading this, there must have been a closeness. It was his wife. I think she was more than a concubine. I'll refer to her, as a wife. And he must have loved her to have 6 sons from her. And considering he only had 2 children previously by 2 other women. So a bit more than a concubine, I would say. And in the 6th week, in the 2nd year thereof, Rebekah bore to Isaac 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. And Jacob was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce, a man of the field, and hairy, and Jacob dwelt in tents. And the youths grew, and Jacob learned to write, but Esau did not learn, for he was a man of the field and a hunter, and he learnt war, and all his deeds were fierce. What they don't tell us here, this is, where there's differences. The Bible does tell us that Esau was red. And some people use the term also ruddy. So I've used that description as the thumbnail for this live stream that depicts Esau, also known as Edom, as ruddy in complexion compared to Kethura and his extended family. Verse 15. And Abraham loved Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau. And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau, and he knew that in Jacob should his name and seed be called. And he called Rebekah and gave commandment regarding Jacob, for he knew that she too loved Jacob more than Esau. And he said unto her, My daughter, watch over my son Jacob, for he shall be in my stead on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and for glory of the whole seed of Shem. For I know that the Lord will choose him to be a people for possession unto himself, above all peoples that are upon the face of the earth. And behold, Isaac my son loves Esau more than Jacob, but I see that you truly love Jacob. Add still further to your kindness to him, and let your eyes be upon him in love, for he will be a blessing unto us on the earth from now on and unto all generations of the earth. Let your hands be strong, and let your heart rejoice in your son Jacob, for I have loved him far beyond all my sons. He will be blessed forever, and his seed will fill the whole earth. If a man can number the sand of the earth, his seed will also be numbered. And all the blessings with which the Lord has blessed me and my seed shall belong to Jacob and his seed always. And in his seed shall my name be blessed, and the name of my fathers, Shem, and Noah, and Enoch, and Mahalalel, and Enos, and Seth, and Adam. And these shall serve to lay the foundations of heaven, and to strengthen the earth, and to renew all the luminaries which are in the firmament. And he called Jacob before the eyes of Rebekah, his mother, and kissed him, and blessed him, and said, Jacob, my beloved son, whom my soul loves, may God bless you from above the firmament, and may he give you all the blessings with which he blessed Adam, and Enoch, and Noah, and Shem. And all the things of which he told me, and all the things which he promised to give me, may he cause to cleave to you and to your seed forever, according to the days of heaven above the earth. And the spirits of Matsema shall not rule over you or over your seed, to turn you from the Lord, who is your God from now on and forever. And may the Lord God be a father to you, and you the firstborn son, and to the people always. Go in peace, my son. And they both went out together from Abraham, and Rebekah loved Jacob with all her heart and with all her soul very much more than Esau. Now that's an important point. The prayers that Abraham gave to Jacob, clear that Jacob was the chosen one through whom through his seed would the people of the Lord derive. And that is an everlasting love. And as we go through the book, we'll see that the people didn't live up to their expectations and they suffered accordingly. But that doesn't mean that they have been deserted by the Lord. They're going through what they said they will be going through in Deuteronomy if they disobeyed the Lord. And Rebekah loved Jacob with all her heart and with all her soul, very much more than Esau. But Isaac loved Esau more than Jacob. Right, chapter 20. And in the 42nd Jubilee, in the first year of the 7th week, Abraham called Ishmael and his 12 sons, and Isaac and his 2 sons, and the 6 sons of Kethura, and their sons, and he commanded them that they should observe the way of the Lord, that they should work righteousness and love each his neighbor, and act on this manner among all men, that they should each so walk with regard to them, so as to do judgment and righteousness on the earth, that they should circumcise their sons according to the covenant which he had made with them, and not deviate to the right hand or to the left of all the paths which the Lord had commanded us, and that we should keep ourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and renounce from among us all fornication and uncleanness. And if any woman or maid commit fornication among you, burn her with fire, and let them not commit fornication with her after their eyes and their heart. And let them not take to themselves wives from the daughters of Canaan, for the seed of Canaan will be rooted out of the land. One thing that's important here to note is that Abraham isn't just talking to Jacob, through whom the people of the Lord's chosen will derive from. He's also speaking to his son Ishmael and to the sons that Kethura produced. And he's telling them the things that they need to observe. Okay, so I also think that's very important. And he also told them not to marry from the daughters of Canaan. So all that I can say here is that they've all been told to do the same things. And most importantly, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham with respect to circumcision. And he told all his sons to ensure that they observe circumcision. So in that respect, all the sons of Abraham are different from all the people that exist in the earth at that time. Verse 5, chapter 20. And he told them of the judgment of the giants and the judgment of the Sodomites, how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had died on account of their fornication and uncleanness. So that's Sodom and Gomorrah, and the giants would have been the victims of the flood. Okay, and we are told in Genesis, we have read that bit, the kind of sordidness that the world was in when Noah was alive, and how the Lord regretted creating man. So that's quite an important thing to make, because Abraham is reminding his children of the consequences of not listening and not obeying what he's warning them about. Very important. And also, I'd just like to highlight fornication, because, and the sanctity of marriage. Because I think we are being told here that, essentially, don't fornicate, don't engage in these practices. So fornication is what? Restricted to marriage between a man and a woman. That's what Abraham is telling all of his sons here. So probably to also make them separate from the peoples that they're surrounded by, because there's a reason why he's saying to his sons, don't marry these people don't marry the Canaanites. They're different from us. They have different traditions, they have different customs. Okay, marry your own people. Okay, that's what we're being told. I'm not making it up. I'm not adding to it. I'm not taking away from it. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just interpreting what we've been told, or what Abraham is telling his children on how to conduct themselves. Let me just read that just to continue it. And had died on account of their... let me just do the chapter 5 again. And he told them of the judgment of the giants and the judgment of the Sodomites, how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had died on account of their fornication and uncleanness, and mutual corruption through fornication. And guard yourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and from all pollution of sin, lest you make our name a curse, and your whole life a hissing, and all your sons be destroyed by the sword, and you become accursed like Sodom, and all your remnant as the sons of Gomorrah. I implore you, my sons, love the God of heaven, and cleave you to all his commandments. We have discussed this about the Lord's commandments. I'm happy that we've come across it again here. It's a very, very, very important point that we obey the Lord's commandments. One of the reasons why, because there's only one definition of wisdom. You don't attain it by growing old. You don't obtain wisdom by studying. You don't obtain wisdom through observation. You don't obtain wisdom through discussing it with other people. The only way that you obtain wisdom is by obeying the Lord's commandments. That's Job 28 verse 28. It's the only way. And once you obtain wisdom, you have understanding to know the difference between good and evil. And you also have to hold the Lord's name in reverence. It's quite easy, isn't it? And it's highly obtainable. It's not something that's difficult. It's not something that's you have to jump through hoops. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to listen to whatever your pastor or reverend father or what some book is telling you. You know, you get these books on how to obtain power, how to obtain riches, and how you should conduct yourself. I think I've even read one for it's called, was it called the Book of Life or the Book of Power? I've read quite a few of these feel-good books. The way to wisdom is by obeying the Lord's commandments. And Abraham has emphasized that point here. This section that I just read is not contained in the Bible. And walk not after their idols and after their uncleanness. And make not for yourself molten or graven gods, for they are vanity, and there is no spirit in them. For they are work of men's hands, and all who trust in them trust in nothing. So that is very clear. You know, it's just telling us, look, don't believe all these stories that you may be hearing. They might sound good. They might be tempting. You know, they might be offering you something that you thought, oh, that, you know, let me just see what's going on there. Don't bother about it. Don't concern yourself about it. There's only one God, the God of the Bible, the God that created me and you, the God that created the world and everything in it. Okay, because whatever has been created from what the Lord created on earth. So even this pen, this, can you even see this microphone? It all derives from the Lord's creation. Because as we read in Genesis 1 and 2, there was nothing here. It all came from the Word of God. So we need to have faith. We don't need to be worshipping or holding reverence carvings or idols or things in that respect created by who? Man? No, we're told here directly, and even told in the commandments that you should have no other God apart from me. So I'm a jealous God. Okay? We're going to go through the commandments one of these days. I think we're going to get there in Exodus, I do believe. So it's not too far away. We're already gone halfway through Genesis, so we're getting there gradually. Serve them not, nor worship them, but serve you the Most High God, and worship him continually, and hope for his countenance always, and work uprightness and righteousness before him, that he may have pleasure in you, and grant you his mercy, and send rain upon you morning and evening, and bless your works which you have wrought upon the earth, and bless your bread and your water, and bless the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, and the herds of your cattle, and the flocks of your sheep, and you will be a blessing on the earth, and all nations of the earth will desire you and bless your sons in my name, that they may be blessed as I am. And he gave to Ishmael and to his sons and to the sons of Kethura gifts, and sent them away from Isaac, his son. And he gave everything to Isaac his son. And Ishmael and his sons and the sons of Kethura and their sons went together and dwelt in Paran to the entering in of Babylon, in all the land which is towards the east, facing the desert. And these mingled with each other, and their names were called Arabs and Ishmaelites. So I suppose the conclusion with these people is that the other sons of Abraham became Arabs and Ishmaelites, which I'll assume we don't use the term Ishmaelites these days, but I haven't heard of it being used to refer to an ethnic group or a race. So I would assume that Ishmaelites have been consumed into the greater Arab definition, and Jacob and his descendants are separate from them. So that was kind of interesting, you know. I had never thought that I would be talking or reading like that for the amount of time that we have, but I think it was worthwhile, because one other thing was that when I read about the Edomites, and I might have to take back what I just said, but we are told in another book, I do use this Strong's, it just gives it's like a dictionary, and it gives meaning to all the words in the Bible. Okay, so when I was checking up Edom, I thought, oh, what's going on here then? So I came across this one here, Edomite, and it refers to thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. So I thought, oh, what does that mean? That's in Deuteronomy 23, chapter 23, verse 7. So when we now go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7, I found it very interesting what it says, because it kind of negates a lot of the statements that I've heard on these videos. Let me see. There we go. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7. And we are told, you shall not abhor an Edomite. These are the descendants of Esau. For he is your brother. You shall not abhor an Egyptian, because you were a sojourner in his land. Children born to them in the third generation may enter the assembly of the Lord. So, that's quite clear, isn't it? It's, there's only one way that can be interpreted, and that's quite clear, the way that it's been written. So I did say, yet they went their separate ways. Yes, they did. But the Lord is quite clear, said, do not abhor them, because they are your brothers. And if they come and live amongst you, after 3 generations, they enter the assembly of the Lord. So whenever you, and from this moment for myself too, whenever I watch a video of somebody referring to Edomites, I don't know who the people they are referring to, whether or not they are the Edomites of today. Okay? But we know that Edomites are derived from Esau. Esau was Jacob's twin brother, a son of Abraham. And the Lord clearly says in Deuteronomy 23:7 that don't hate these people. They're your brothers. And after 3 generations of them sojourning amongst you, they are the people of the Lord. So that's just clear. So that clarified to me that I needed to, I was so happy that I did check the meaning of, or who the Edomites were derived from. And upon doing that, through investigating further, I came across Deuteronomy 23:7. So for me, Strong's proved very helpful here. I know you could check these things on the internet and stuff like that, but you know, with AI, I don't know what the right word is, but with AI such as Grok, Copilot, what's this one on Microsoft called? Yeah, Copilot, Grok. I think the one on Google is called Gemini, and I think my phone has one as well by Motorola. You can use all of these facilities, but there's nothing like looking up things for yourself in a book. And you know, you can probably use the AI services for quick reference purposes rather, but always back it up with text, because I don't truly trust these AI services. They might be good for whatever job you do in your daily life, but when we're talking about the Lord's word, it's always good to get things clarified, because a time might come where they might be deceiving us, or they might be deceiving the reader and reflecting what they want you to know. But the word of the Lord will always remain constant. So if you do not understand something, pray and ask the Lord for understanding. But under no circumstances should we hate anybody. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, just let them be. Okay, so that's just what I wanted to share with you today. And if you do have any questions, feel free to put something in chat, or not in chat, in the comment section, and I'll have a look and I'll answer it for you. Or you could even email me. And you know, so that would be great. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to the next live stream. Take care now, and no doubt speaking to you soon.